Hope you guys hear me. Can you hear me? Is it pretty good? Hello? Well, here we are. How are you guys doing? I'm going to just sip some chai. I got some nice, good stuff right here. It's still warm. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Well, how are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's doing all right. It is, what is today's date? Today is the 16th of August. Wow, this year has just gone by. And yet it just feels like it's the longest year as well. It's the weirdest thing. Just waiting for next year to come by as soon as possible and get all this shit over with. You know. Oop, no, don't jump up. I wonder if my Steam chat's actually working. Let's see. View docs, stream information, toolbars, no. Stats. What's that? Oh, that's not it. Oh, that just brightened up. Sorry about that. Docs, custom browser, scene, source, stats, chat. There it is. I don't think this Steam chat is working very well, so let's move that over. Hey, welcome. Hello, hi Geeky Mom. How are you doing today? Sorry, my chat wasn't working for a second, so I didn't see if anybody else was on. And I am not doing KP's Cosplay Corner. I am sorry. Hi, guys. Oh, come on. Give me this. I'm going to close that. There we go. How are you guys doing? Oh, sorry about that. I'm just not able to keep that cup down. But yeah, welcome to the first episode. Can you guys hear me well? Oh, yeah, I hear you. I was up pretty late last night trying to figure some stuff out, and without realizing it, I think it was like almost 1 my time, 1 a.m. that I finally fell asleep. Yeah, that's that does sound like a good time, right? Or I'm assuming you mean 2021, right? But yeah, so bear with me, by the way. This is my first time doing this. I have no clue what I'm doing half the time. My video quality hopefully is all right. It's not the best, I know, but at least, yay, you know, guys start from somewhere, right? That's what I figured. But yeah, so welcome to Chai with KP. I don't know why I keep wanting to say coffee with KP, because that just, I guess that flows better. But you know what? I'm Indian, so I have chai. So the purpose of this show is, there really isn't a purpose, because it's whatever we want. You know, I do all these other things throughout the week. By the way, bear with me. My dad, I think, is about to do his morning prayers, so you might hear a little of that in the background. But, you know, you live in a house with your family, you gotta make sure you live with everybody. So you gotta make sure that everybody's schedule works out and respect each other's stuff. So we're gonna respect that. But yeah, like I was saying, is there's really no purpose for the show. It's more of me just trying to relax, chat with you guys, you know, just enjoy some time, maybe play some games. I haven't played video games in like, God, I can't even remember. I think it's at least been over a year or two. It's just, at least not properly, you know, like you start a game, you play maybe 10 minutes, and then you're like, I like it, but I got something else to do. I have something else I need to run off and do and take care of. So, you know, or you want to watch a nice show, you know, you want to just see some anime or some show that people have been talking about, and you're like, ooh, I just wish I had the time. So, this is our hour or two that we get to do that. So if you have any suggestions, if you have anything you guys want to do together, maybe watch a show together or watch me play a game or like chat with you all, this is the space. If you have any questions, I can also, do some photo editing, although, maybe not today. Been doing a lot of that this week, and so I just need kind of a break. You know what I mean? But from Bunka Tea? Can I ask what that is? Bunka Tea. I've never actually heard that. But yeah, maybe next time I'll do like another quick stream of how to make chai, I did a post about it, but I never did a video about it. It's honestly so simple. But shoots, not actual live shoots. I did one last Saturday. Was it last Saturday? I think it was last Saturday. My wife and I, we actually drove up all the way to the Olympic National Park up north in Washington. That was a 6-hour drive. It was for a shoot, but I was like, you know what? It would be a nice day trip just to kind of go out there, explore, just be with my wife, have a nice long drive. And then we did a shoot. It was really, really, really fun. We shot with Angry Pixie Perfect, as they go by on Twitter. And oh my God, they're such an amazing cosplayer. If you haven't seen their Caduceus, for those of you who are aware of Critical Role, I'm assuming most of you are. But oh my goodness, they do prosthetics and everything. Like I don't know what kind of prosthetics it is, but it like completely changes the shape of their face. They're very feminine, but by having that, it just it looks amazing. You wouldn't even be able to recognize. But they made a amazing leather armor, and they asked me to, shoot with them. So I was very honored to do that. And when you have a nice shoot like that, you tend to want to go as far as you can for it. But that got me thinking, maybe next week I might start offering shoots again, but there'll be the long distance shoots. I have a very nice telephoto lens. We just go to a nice open place, no indoors. I'll wear a mask so that, I make sure that I'm safe, or at least I'm being respectful to other people. Obviously, until the shoot, the other person will wear a mask, and then when it's time to shoot, they'll remove it quickly. We'll do a couple shots, and then, I got my sound fixed, my headphones amp decided, okay, that's good. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. But, see, that's what I love about Europe, you get to drive anywhere, and you're just within a few hours in another country. You drive 6 hours, you're in maybe a different state. I drive south 6 hours, I'm still in Oregon, I'm like at the border of Washington and Oregon, the two states. So if I want to go down to California, I think I have to drive at least 6 to 7 hours before I make it into California. And then if I want to drive east, even if I drive east, I think it took me to get to Bend, Oregon, almost 4 hours. And then I have to probably drive another 6 hours, another 4 hours, so a total of 8 to 6 hours to get to the other side. But, it was a beautiful drive. And that's what I love about being here, is because, especially Oregon and the Pacific Northwest area, is there's just so many great places. Like a few hours away, if I wanted to, was it last year or the year before, my wife and I, for our anniversary, we decided to do an Oregon road trip kind of a thing. So I have a Honda Odyssey, a van, and I removed all the seats except for the front two, and basically put down a small mattress, like a portable mattress down in the back, put a little pixie lights up top for some ambiance, and we just drove and we lived out of the van for a few days. And that was so magical, because you go to Bend, Oregon, if you go past a little bit, you go to a place called the Painted Hills, and it literally, I think it's an archaeological dig site, and what they have done is, as they dug through, different layers of sediments from different eras showed up, and it literally looks like someone painted them with a paintbrush of different colors, and it's especially magical during sunrise or sunset. We got there around sunset time, so that was beautiful. And then from there, we drove all the way to Florence, Oregon, and you have sand dunes there. So it's like a nice desert area. And then from there, you take a highway called Highway 101 and you just drive up. And along the way, you just hit all these great coastal places. I think we have a place called Seal Cave where we stopped, where a bunch of sea lions, not seals, sea lion cave, where a bunch of sea lions would come in and just, that's where they, stayed, one of their stops. When they, I think after they breed, they come with their pups over there, and it's just a huge cavern that you can, with a viewing window that you can check those out. So yeah, just a bunch of amazing places. I love that highway. That is, if you guys are ever in this the West Coast side, 100% recommend driving Highway 101. And it goes all the way from Southern California to up till California. I mean, Southern California up till Canada. So you can make it all the way there. I mean, it adds a couple extra hours instead of just taking the direct route, which is I-5. But if you take that route, you just hit so many gorgeous places. I think that's also, if you take that route down into California, that's also where you will hit the redwood forest. So we got to see a bunch of redwood forests. I might maybe do like a little post on Twitter showing all the things we saw during that time. But yeah, I if you guys are ever down here, that would be a place to see. I've never been to the PNW, but I really hope to make it somewhere up there next year. Hey, if you're ever in my area, hit me up, yeah? I'd love to say hi. Just if you guys need a place to crash, just give me some heads up. We have room, so, feel free to just come by. But yeah, that's some of the things you can do. Anyways, but I think the reason this started is so because I was able to do that shoot, I realized, as long as I'm safe, as long as I maintain proper distance, I have a perfect lens, I could just go ahead and do some great shoots. So I might do like a post where every Tuesday, Thursdays, I offer some shoots that people are interested in, some 30, 40 minute shoots, quick, bam, bam, take shots, leave. But I'm hoping to post the ones from that particular shoot maybe this week. I should be done with the edits for them. And then maybe later on I'll show you guys a little peek. Oh, actually no, it's on this computer. Damn. Oh no, I have it saved on the cloud. Yeah, I love cloud. I love saving on the cloud. It's best. But we're having the kind of weather. Ooh, a bunch of thunderstorms, huh? I do love thunderstorms. I don't think we get those very often. It's like a once in a while, but when we do, it's like a big thunderstorm. At least I think it is. I don't know how Midwest, they might look at it and be like, those are sparks. But let's see. Mine is from Chicago and like 11 a.m. Oh yeah. Oh, I love the East Coast trips too. So for our anniversary in March, this year, my wife and I, we flew into Michigan, rented a car there. We have some my wife's friends over there, college mates. So we hung out with them for a bit, and then we drove from there through Canada, stayed at Toronto overnight, and then from Toronto made it to the Niagara Falls, and then drove from Niagara Falls all the way down until we hit Philly? Where did we stop? No, we didn't make it all the way to Philadelphia. So we started up there, we hit New York. From New York, we went to Boston to, Virginia. So from Boston to, we saw DC, and then flew out from there. Why am I blanking so much? Oh my God, so much has happened since then, so. Ooh. Monday, I'd love to go. Oop, oop. Oh no, first spill. But yeah, have you guys ever, what was your like most memorable trip, I guess? Portland to DC, so that's a good drive. That sounds a great drive. So that sounds very similar to what I had to do when I was in the Navy. I just realized I do a lot of cross-country stuff. I don't know. I don't know how this happened, but I just love traveling, I guess. But I was stationed up in Groton, Connecticut, and then I had new orders to go to San Diego. So obviously, I could have flown, but I have a bunch of my stuff. I have to move. That I'm like, there's no way I'm paying for airfare for these things. So hey, just gonna pack up my old Toyota Corolla and they gave me 9 days, and I took all 9 days to get to all the way across. I think I started from Groton, Connecticut. I drove south, and then basically went through Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Stopped at Arizona to see the Grand Canyon for the first time. That was beautiful. Also, there's a story there. I'll tell you guys later if you're interested. But then drove all the way to San Diego that way, and my God, that was such a fun trip. Kind of lonely though, considering I was by myself in a car, tiny car full of, just a bunch of stuff. But the radio really helped. And I just got introduced to K-pop, so that was all I was blasting. Just a lot of Big Bang, a lot of K-hip hop. Yeah, that was my big journey of K-pop that day. Ooh, that sounds fun. Culinary trip around France and Spain 2 years back, and we dined at a lot of very nice places for the. Ooh, I really want to do that. I think because this year we were supposed to do a lot of traveling, Sumaya and I, especially because I just started getting, my photography business up a bit. People started knowing me a bit more, so I was supposed to go to like a bunch of cons. I think even go to like YetiCon for a bit. I was contemplating that, but yeah, there was going to be a lot of traveling for that, and then poof. But that's fine. There's more important things. Safety is most important. But yeah, wait, so I didn't finish that. And we dined on, right, I was helping a friend. Okay, I caught up. Visiting New York City in January. Ooh, that must have been cold. I was up in Ballston Spa, so Saratoga Springs, New York, so upstate New York, during the winter time. And it gets cold, but it's really, really beautiful. Like that snow, it's that type of snow that you need to experience at least once, where it's just 5-6 inches at least. I think here in Oregon, we're lucky if we ever get 2 or 3 inches the most. But that being said, is there anything you guys want to chit chat about? Do you want me to play some games, or I can edit something? Just shout it out, right? Maybe you have a show you want to watch together. That's also cool. I actually kind of got emotional about cons last night. Gen Con this year was supposed to be my first con, and last night I was listening to Higher Love by Steve Winwood, and I got upset. I hear you. I hear you on that. I was supposed to go to Gen Con. That was going to be my first time. This year was supposed to be my big out-of-state con year, because up till now, the only out-of-state, well, I guess the West Coast cons I've been to were, so technically I went out of state, but they're all the same, or at least locations-wise. I went to Anime Expo before, did the local cons like Rose City Comic Con, and then up in Seattle I did Sakura Con. But those were the only 3 cons that I've ever been to until this year, and my first big out-of-state con was Katsucon. And then I was supposed to hit Gen Con this year, and Hallmat, and DPCC, and I was supposed to actually even go to NerdCon as well. So there was going to be a lot, and I was especially excited for Gen Con because I just heard so many great things about it. Excuse me. I wish I had my band. Oh well, let's put it up. I was also contemplating on going to, what's the one in Chicago again? Blanking the name. Oh, I was also supposed to go to ECCC, Emerald City Comic Con. That got canceled, and then there was, C2E2, yeah. So I was contemplating on going to that, but then that fell right around the time that we were doing our anniversary trip, so I was just like, do we want to stop in Chicago, do that, and then drive, or not? But then I was like, it's too much. I don't think my wife would be very happy with me if we if we did that. So we ended up not doing C2E2. But outside of that, yeah, there was supposed to be a lot of big cons. But you know what? Next year, we're gonna come back with a vengeance. It's gonna be great, and oh man, I can't wait to just meet people again and hang out. I'm just really, really, really hoping that by next year, people are going to be very, very careful. Highly doubt it, but at least hoping that this entire pandemic situation ends by then at least. We'll see. But yeah, yeah, you better go put that on charge. Ooh, oh, South Korea, so fun. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I'm not taking your thunder or anything. I actually got a chance to go there 2015. I did a trip where I did basically Thailand and South Korea. Although technically, more specifically, I did Bangkok and Seoul. So I basically, my policy before I got married, and it's still my policy, our policy, is I think we make a lot of excuses about wanting to go places because we think, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. The second one is much more valid. I just think that we don't tend to plan. We just get so ingrained in our day-to-day lives, and we don't think about breaking big projects like that into smaller, manageable chunks. And we just think of, I have to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks off easily for this, and I have all this, money that I need to put down for this. It's going to cost, a penny. But then the way I approached it, and this was when I was still making minimum wage, less than. And what I did instead was, you know what? I'm going to save up all my work holidays or my PTO for 2 weeks vacation. And what I'm going to do is save up enough money that I have just enough to, buy the tickets, the plane tickets, live very cheaply. So either hostels or use, what do you call it? Like the cheap Airbnbs. I think the place I stayed in Bangkok was $30 a night. And then the one in Seoul was 28. So, 500 places like that. And I think you can go cheaper than that if you're in a hostel. And just, go there mostly just to explore and just expand your knowledge, not to like purchase things or do some expensive things. I think both trips, I saved up about $3,000 over a year and a half. And that was my money. That was how much I spent had to spend. And so I did 2 trips total, 2 weeks trips. But luckily I do. Although, once again, there is a story there as well. Maybe I'll tell you guys another time. But essentially in Bangkok, I stayed there for a week. I went there just because since I'm already going to Korea, I wanted to see another country. Day one was a little crappy. I got, swindled. Essentially what had happened was I landed there at 2 a.m. and me being the artsy type was like, I'm not going to be the tourist. I'm not going to just, buy packages and things. I'm going to do what the locals are going to do. I'm going to do first off, holy crap. Nice. That sounds, oh my God, Gilmore's Glorious Food. Yes. I didn't even know that they were making that until like today. This morning I saw a post about someone doing it. I'm just like, I don't have the money. I'm not going to bother. I want it, but congratulations. I really want to see how it looks like. So, if you get the chance, and once you get it, I'd love to see. But anyways, day one in Bangkok, right? I land there. I have no plans. I didn't make any plans whatsoever. And I was like, I'm just going to ask locals, just gonna be like, where do you guys go? What do you guys do? And I'm just like, I have my camera, so I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna take pictures of everybody, just, candid street photography kind of a thing. And so I have no plans, and I arrive 2 a.m., I wake up, and then I'm like, you know what are some things that I've heard about Bangkok that would be fun? Oh, how about I go to one of those night markets, those big, sprawling, bazaars that are there. That would be really, really cool, to take pictures of. Mind you, the title is Night Market, and I went there at 8 a.m. So first big mistake there. Second, they didn't open until 10 a.m. So I'm just like loitering around going, well, what do I do now? So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to walk. Why waste my time just, standing around here? I started walking, and this, auto rickshaw, tuk-tuk, I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. It's like those little go-kart, 3-wheel go-kart looking things that a lot of Asian countries have. In India, they're called autos. It's a day market and a night market. So it has a different vibe if you went there at night. If you go during the day, another type of vibe. And I was like, you know what? At least that's the first thing I could think of. Anyways, I'm like, first thing that popped into my head is let's go there. Maybe there's something interesting that happens. So, anyways, as I'm walking, this this little tuk-tuk driver came by and he goes, "Hey, my friend, are you new here?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mistake number one. And he goes, "Oh, I'm a tour guide. I have a certification from the government, and in Thailand, tuk-tuk drivers can get certifications from the government to be guides." So I was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great." And he goes, "Just for 33 baht, which is about like $6." And he goes, "I'll take you around the city, 2 hour tour of the city." I'm like, you know what? Actually, that sounds to me smart, just so I can have an understanding of the city and find out how things are going. So I get in the thing, and then no, I think it was not 33. It was 300 baht. 300 baht was for it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, 300 baht sounds good, which is about $6, not bad. I can do that. I get in, and then for the first like hour and a half, all he does is basically take me to shops, right? It took me some jewelry shop, took me to a tailor's for like suits and things, and I didn't find out until later that they get commission for every person that they bring there, and you purchase something, they get a little piece of the pie. So I'm just like getting bored. I'm like, dude, this is not what I came here for. I'm not interested. Although I did purchase a suit just because I was like, oh, cheap suits. I've always loved a suit. Man, this will be my first one. So I did get the suit. Don't judge me. And I get back in, and at that point, I'm just frustrated. I'm like, listen, can we please? Oh yeah, 100% we can laugh about this. Trust me, no permanent damage happened, so it's fine. I'm just gonna let you guys know so you guys can breathe a little easier through this. Don't you dare stop that. Anyways, so finally I'm like, I'm fed up. I was like, dude, I'm gonna leave if you don't, you gotta take me to some nice places. So he's like, sure, fine. So he then took me to a couple temples, which was really nice, and he took me a couple of other, historic sites, and then finally he then takes me to the riverside, and stops by in front of this tourist shack looking thing, and he goes, "Oh, my friend, you can do another river tour for another 300 baht." I'm like, "Oh, really?" So I go in, guy at the counter is like, "Yeah, 300 baht, 2-hour tour on the river. You got a nice view of the city." I'm like, "That's cheap. I could do that." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I'm about to pay, and the guy goes, "No, you pay after." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds great. I can do that." Mind you, this is me at 2014. What was I? That was 15. That was 5 years ago. Dear Lord. I was 24. I had just got out of the Navy about 2 years ago. No, 1 year. Yeah, 2 years ago. I'd just gotten out. It's my first time traveling by myself. I'm a naive little idiot. Anyways, I get in the boat. And we go, and along the way, we do hit like 1 or 2 really big places. I think the one big one was Wat Arun, which is a big temple there. Problem was, it was under reconstruction, or at least repair, because it was covered in a bunch of scaffolding. So I'm just like, this sucks. And then the tour had said, when I had signed up, they're like, oh, on the river, you're going to see a few temples. You're going to see the police academy, the major police academy all along the riverside, and you're going to see the how Thai people really live, not like in the cities, but like the traditional way. You also see the boat markets, the riverside markets, which you see the pictures of. I'm like, ooh, that sounds amazing. So get on there, and then after a while, we just start passing a bunch of temples, right? I'm just like, yo, are we landing? Oh, that's the other thing. Every time I landed, I had to pay 30 baht for docking fees. I'm like, wait, I already am paying 300 baht. Why am I paying 30? And they're like, no, please, my friend. I'm like, fine, here's 30 baht. I'm an idiot. Anyways, so we start going, and he keeps passing things. part of me I'm like, oh, I don't have to pay docking fees, great. The other part I'm like, yo, I'm missing all these great looking places, what's going on? He goes, oh, no, you just take pictures from from here. I think I did that like 3 times is how many times I had to do the docking fee. But so we start passing all these, and he's like, you just take pictures from, we're not stopping, we're just, take pictures from the boat. I'm like, fine, okay. And then he started randomly pointing out random things for me to take pictures of. I still remember, like, he pointed out at this giant lizard, like an iguana looking thing, and then he goes, look, crocodile. I'm like, that is not a crocodile. I'm not taking a picture. Like, no, you take picture. I'm like, I'm not gonna take a picture. You take picture. I'm like, okay, take picture. And we just then decided to, we continued, and we then took this turn into this smaller canal, and he then points to the left, and then he goes, look, traditional Thai place. And I'm like, okay. And I look over, and I just then realized when he said traditional Thai place, he basically was pointing to like the slums of the city where the poor people were, which in and of itself would have been very interesting had I not seen 2 or 3 people pissing into the river, one person taking a crap, and yeah, that was very interesting, and I'm not taking pictures of that. But yeah, that was interesting in a different sort of way, and I'm just like, ooh, that was not what I'm here to see, but okay. We passed that, and then we go past the police academy, and there's nothing happening there, right? And I'm just like, it's just a building that says Thailand or Bangkok Police Academy. Okay, he goes, yeah, Police Academy. I'm like, okay. Oh no, trust me, this is not even close to the end. Anyways, we go past that, and then finally the river opens up again, and it's a pretty wide river at this point. And then he goes, oh, so get ready. Next is the river market. Oh no, I've only gotten to the half point of the story at this point. So I'm like, all right, great. And I go out, and I'm just like, this is empty. Where are the boats? I look around, and literally I only see like the 2 small canoe boats that are over there. And the other ones are in like this little shed. Like I see a bunch of them in the shed. So no one's really riding them. And, oh no, this is me. This was before I got married. This was 5 years ago. So I went by myself. Smart. Trust me, I'm not that dumb. Okay, I am that dumb. But then let's continue. You can judge how dumb I am as the story progresses. So we get there, and there's only 2 boats, and I'm just like, where's the river market? And he goes, oh, they're here. And then out of the 2 boats, only one approaches me, and it's just this old lady with a bunch of like knickknacks and trinkets that are very touristy, and you just stare and you go, this is like, she had beer cans and like drinks and just like very, very typical Thai like touristy knickknacks and like very quiche, cheesy looking things. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this is it? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. And all I'm thinking in the back of my head is, it's just 300 baht. What did you expect? It's 300 baht. Really, it's like $6, $6.50. What did you expect? And so, that's true. Very true. Thank you for that. Thank you. That makes me feel better. And so, anyways, I'm not proud of this, and also sort of proud of this, or I'm just, I don't know, indifferent, I guess, at this point. But I ended up buying out of sheer pity for the old lady, because it seemed like she, I'm the only customer here. I'm literally the only other boat here. So, like, I'm like, she's staring at me with this nice, innocent smile, and I'm just like, okay, I'll buy the, oh, so bad. I'm so sorry for this, but I bought one of those cone-shaped rice paddy hats, the bamboo hats. I still have it somewhere. I think it's in storage. I'll show it next time. But yeah, I ended up purchasing that because I'm just like, that looks kind of cool. Um, yeah. So I bought that, right? And we move on, and then finally the tour ends. I'm just like, that was, I just, because by this point it's like 3 in the afternoon, right? I hadn't really done anything on my first day. I didn't get to see the marketplace. I got to see maybe one or two temples, which was really cool. But all I did on a boat, I wasted basically 2 hours of my life on that trip on that boat. And finally, we get back to the main place. I get off, and I go up to the counter. I'm a little disgruntled, and I give him I'm about to give him 300 baht, and the guy goes, "It's 3,000 baht." I'm just staring. I'm like, "Wait, what? No. You said 300." He goes, "No, it's 3,000." I'm like, "No, you specifically said 300." And he goes, "You heard wrong." I'm like, "No," and we had this argument back and forth. And then I'm like, I'm not paying. And I try walking away. And as I'm walking away, a bunch of buff Thai dudes block my path. And I'm just like, oh, this is the route this is now about to take. About turn. I walk back up to the counter. I'm like, you are very good at arguing, sir. Here is 3,000. No, I said, I'm not paying 3,000. Can you help me? I don't have that much money. And so I ended up paying 2,400 baht, which is about like 50 bucks or something like that. No, more than that. I think it's like 80 bucks. So right there, I just lost that much. I walk out and that damn tuk-tuk driver is still out there and he's like grinning at his face. He goes, "Oh, you enjoy yourself?" I'm like, I'm not using you anymore. And I walk off, and like I said, it's 4 p.m, and I'm just and story's not over, by the way. There's more to this now. You thought that we ended, but there's more. I'm gonna have a little bit of sip of chai just to lubricate. Also maintain a little suspense. Anyways. I go out, and at this point, I'm like, it's 4 p.m. I'm damn tired. I didn't get much sleep, and I didn't do anything. I'm very frustrated. What can I do? And I remember reading up about how in Thailand you have the Buddhist temples, and if you go there, you can actually spend some time with Buddhist monks, and they'll teach you how to, they'll give you a massage, and they'll teach you how to do a proper Thai massage. And I'm just like, yes. Yeah, there you go, 75 bucks, yeah. Anyways, I was like, you know what? I want to do that. That's what I'll do. But once again, still, my dumb mind goes, but I don't want to do a touristy place. Let me ask a Thai local. And I hailed down their taxi. I told the taxi guy, hey, take me to a place where you guys get some, you guys go for your massages. Take me to a nice Thai massage. And he goes, oh, no, I know, best place. I'll take you there. Best place. And I'm just like, nice. I get it. Mind you, this is once again 4 p.m. in Bangkok. That is peak traffic time. What should have taken probably 20 minutes, we were there for 2 hours. And finally, Lord's mercy, whatever Lord is out there, finally we make it. And he takes me into this dingy looking alleyway. He takes this turn. And I'm just like, where am I? Why, what? Why are we in this? I'm about to be mugged, robbed, and murdered? Oh God. And then he stops, and he gets out, and he goes, best place here. And I'm just like, okay, cool, all right, he's not coming to kill me. All right, best place. I get out, I walk up, I open that door, and I'm like, I have made a big mistake. Because I then realized there are 2 types of Thai massage places in Thailand. You guys probably guessed which one I walked into. And mind you, so basically, have you guys ever seen Rush Hour 2? I'm assuming some of you have. You know that scene where they go in and there's that, they talk to a masseuse, and then there's a big window and a bunch of girls walk in.
that was basically it. Just think of a very dingy strip club with low lights and just red neon signs everywhere and a big ass window. And as soon as I decide to walk out, this sleazy looking manager, he walks up, puts his arms around me, and goes, "My friend," and basically drags me inside. And you have to understand, I looked like a child at that time. I like 22 years of age. I didn't have a beard. My hair was really short. I looked like a 16-year-old kid. I think I've shared some photos from when I was back then. And he sits me down, and then he just starts talking. He goes, "Oh, my friend, what are you looking for? We do this and this and this." And by this point, that window is filling up with a bunch of, very attractive ladies. Obviously in not a lot of clothing, and a 22-year-old virgin going, "What the did I get myself into? Oh God!" And the guy finally finishes his little spiel, and he goes, "All that you get for 4,000 baht." And I'm just like, "What? Excuse me, what?" He goes, 4,000 baht. I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is not my intention. I did not mean to come in here. Can I please, I'm so sorry for wasting your time. I'm gonna go." And the guy goes, "Okay, but you still owe me 2,000 baht. I'm like, "What? Why?" He goes, "You owe me 2,000 baht. I'm like, "No, I didn't do anything. I just walked in." He goes, "But you saw girls." I'm like, "You brought them. I didn't see anything. They're fully clothed. They were here. All I did was look at them because you brought them." And he goes, "But you saw them." I'm like, "I'm not paying." I turn around, and there's a bunch of buff guys behind me. And Hamza's like, "Never mind. Here you go, sir. I'm leaving." And off I went. And that was how, and I think I literally walked out, booked myself to the nearest tourist package shop, and I bought all of the tourist packs that they had there, or at least that I had the time for, to fill up the rest of the week that I was supposed to be in Bangkok. And that is how KP lost almost, $160 something without doing shit on the first day of his trip to Bangkok. So, yeah, there you go. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I have a bot sometimes, so I don't have a mod yet. So that's what I use. So, I'll be monitoring that. So if I see something, and as long as it's good, I'll let it through. So, but I apologize. Oh yeah, there you go. I don't know. That's how much. Wait, no, because we just established. I think it was like 33 baht back then, so that's not 130 bucks. There's no way. Yeah, that was day one in Thailand, and that's how then the rest of the trip was amazing. I went on a bunch of tours. They took me to a bunch of like really gorgeous places. But ever since then, I'm like, unless I've been to that country or that city, multiple times, I am not doing that again. Oh no, Amsterdam was amazing. Trust me. So that was the next year's trip. So 2015 was Bangkok and Korea. I have a story for Korea as well. And then the next year, I did another 2-week trip where I hit Amsterdam, Paris, and London. But that was a much better trip. I still got gypped. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. I still got screwed over a little bit on those trips. But that's the museum, right? The Rotterdam Museum, the one where Van Gogh is? I forget. I'm pretty sure. So I was able to hit a couple because Amsterdam is the worst place in the Netherlands. Is Rotterdam a city? I don't know. I stayed in. I was in. What's the town? It's like 40 minutes train ride from Amsterdam. It starts with an H. What is that town's name? That's where I had the Airbnb at. Oh, it's a city. That's right. I'm so sorry. I'm an American. I'm terrible with geography. I really do apologize. My education here was not very good. So Harlem, yes, that was where I stayed. Harlem was where I stayed, and I took the train. And actually, I really enjoyed that trip. That was a very fun trip. Like I said, I learned my lesson. So when I was in Amsterdam, they have what's that tour? There's a tour group that's very famous there. They have that 3-hour free walk. Yeah, Harlem was gorgeous. I'm so glad I didn't stay in the city. Harlem was a good place to stay, and it was really close. And, the train was cheap, but I just didn't have time. I think because the problem was what had happened was I was working at Intel at the time, and I only had 2 weeks of vacation, so all I could do was spend that time. But literally, so I booked all that stuff in March, and then Intel had a big layoff, so I lost my job in May of that year. And so, but at that point, it was too late to change my trip, because if I had known I was not going to be working there anymore, I would have extended that trip a lot more, and I'd spent more time and gone through a couple more cities and stuff. But unfortunately, because I didn't have that time, that's what I ended up doing, was those 3 major cities. So I stayed in Harlem, but hey, there's always the future, right? Life's pretty long, or at least long enough that if we plan it right, we get to go see a lot more things. And I'm really hoping to take my wife to a lot of the places that I was able to go to. And what's really great about that is, even if you have been to a certain place, if you go there with someone you care about, another friend or a family member, your loved one, your spouse, that completely changes the experience, because not only are you experiencing it with them, but you kind of are getting that secondhand joy to see them experiencing this for the very first time. So, I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping that I have the time going forward that we will be able to do that. But anyways, what was I going to say? So Amsterdam, I went with that tour group. I'm blanking the name of it right now. But they were amazing. They have this free 3-hour walking tour. Like I said, it's free, so you just meet up with them, and they walk you to all the great, they don't take you inside, but at least it's a great way to get an idea of how the city is, what you can look and see, and kind of give you the history of the city. So that was really great. I did that on day 1, and then afterwards I went and did a bunch of packages with them, and I think my favorite package that I did was this biking tour. It's called the Free Amsterdam Walking Tour. I think multiple companies do it, but there was this one particular company, because I used them both in Amsterdam. I also used them in London. They weren't there in Paris, but they operate out of London as well. So they also have their free walking tour there. So any city that they operate out of, they have a 2 to 3 hour free walking tour. But yes, one of the tours I did was a bike tour outside of Amsterdam into the countryside. That was beautiful. I'm so glad I did that. It was I think it was a full day, almost 8-hour tour. We started in the morning. We took the ferry to the countryside, and we just biked the entire way. And for food, we stopped at a free market or a farmer's market there, and whatever you picked, that was your lunch for the day. And we stopped and ate at this gorgeous little garden-like place. And then just by the evening, we came back. You get to keep the bike with you until a certain time at the end of the day. So then I took that bike and I went to the Van Gogh Museum. I'm blanking the name of it. I went to the Van Gogh Museum. I got to see that. That was very interesting. So that was that day. What else did I do in Amsterdam? So I did 3 days, right? And I think that day when I was returning back, instead of going to Harlem, I went 2 stops down. There you go. Yeah. I think I remember hitting up 2 museums. It was the Van Gogh and then one other museum. I'm blanking the name of the other one. It's the 2 famous ones. But then on the way back, I went past Harlem. I think it was another 2 stops past that. I'm blanking the name of the town. Maybe I don't know. I'm sorry, it's been 5 years. I have to go back on my pictures. But it was a beach town, and I got off and I went to the beach because this is the reason why I love using Airbnb, because the hosts are right there and you can talk with them. And then I think it was the Hog is the one I went to, but the hosts are really great at giving you information about things you can do. And so she had suggested that I go to that beach area, so I ended the day just watching the sunset on the beach. Had a nice little drink in my hand. That was excellent. That was a good way to end the day. And that's how you do a proper trip. Don't do the... Although, the way I see it with my Thailand trip was, as long as you don't get hurt and you don't have any permanent damage, money's money. It's going to come back to you eventually. As long as you keep your life... Sometimes, at the time it feels shitty, but then you have a great story to tell later. At least I hope it was a great story. But, without that, it's just a trip. You're like, oh yeah, I went there and I saw these things. But it's always sometimes when things go wrong that you have a better story to tell. So there was that. So Amsterdam, ended that there. I then took the train from Amsterdam to Paris. That was beautiful. If you guys ever get a chance, try avoid using flights, especially if you're in like Europe and stuff. It's so much better to take a train, because watching the sceneries go by as you go from country to country is some of the best feelings ever. I don't remember which train I took, and it was fancy for what I paid. It was very cheap considering that I'm going across multiple countries. But I ended up taking the train from Amsterdam to Paris, spent some time there. So I got there the day of my birthday. I was able to eat at this really nice, fancy restaurant that was hole in the wall kind of place. And my God, they were so nice to me. As soon as I mentioned it was my birthday, they're like, oh yeah, you should try this. And I had some of the best meal there. It was very cheap too. Got to see the Eiffel Tower walking around. Paris was gorgeous. I literally felt like every building was a freaking monument, because I was just like, ooh, oh wow. Oh, that's really cool. And then I'm like, oh, what kind of building is like, that's just an office building. I don't know, municipal of garbage. I don't know, it's the random building, dude. I'm like, but it's so pretty. So I got to that. The interesting thing I saw in Paris, sorry, I just jumped forward like that. I hope I didn't scare you. But one of the favorite things I did in Paris was the catacombs. Oh, man. Oh, that was just, oof. Just don't go near Sacré-Cœur. I don't know what is that? Right? Oh, it was, yeah, the catacombs, I did. It was so fun. I have pictures somewhere I can maybe post. It was really creepy, but so cool. And then the history of how it was made, why it exists, was really interesting, especially when you go past that point where I think there was the one thing about this is the way of the dead, and you're just like, ominous. Thanks for that, But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Catacombs was great. I got to see the what's the name of the graveyard? The big graves where some of the famous people are there. Dude, I 100% recommend it. I know it sounds scary, but it's really not. You go with a guided tour and a group of people. But I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. Just as an experience, It lasted maybe an hour. So, I highly recommend it. That was a lot of fun. When I was in England, so I had 5 days in London. I only stayed in London one day because I didn't really want to, just be in a city like environment. And I had a friend that I had met that previous year in Bangkok. She was a teacher there from the UK. And hi, Lexi. We're just talking about our fun, or my fun, crazy adventures around the world. Talked about my excellent time in Bangkok. Just top notch. Did not get that. I didn't get conned out of anything. Con mom, con. Sorry. I'm a terrible pun maker. I apologize. But yes, it was an excellent, excellent trip. I did not lose almost $160 on day one. Oh, there goes my dad's prayers. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Anyways, so that happened. But when I was in England, I then took another train, and literally we it was like a 6 hours train ride down south to Cornwall. I had a friend there that I met when I visited Bangkok the previous year, and that was so fun. If you guys get a chance, like, don't stay in London, go out and explore the other areas. But yeah, if I had the time, I would have loved to go to, visit Scotland and the north and all that, but just didn't have the time. Yeah, there is. Yeah, so my dad's morning prayers are happening right now. It's a little. He kind of started a little late. But yeah, I think I showed a little bit of it one time. I did a video about it. But yeah, this is his morning praise that he does every morning. Basically, it's called Suprabhatam. It's a form of prayer to the God to kind of basically, hey, wake up. It's morning. Come, please get out of bed. Come find us. Come start your day. Here's all the guests and your well-wishers. We're all here waiting for you. So it's kind of like a little wake-up call for our God. So I might have to end the stream. What was that? Oh, that's the bells. I will have to probably end the stream just now because I have to get going for this. But I hope you guys had some fun. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, Lexi. I know you just got here, but I probably have to end the stream a bit earlier than expected. Possible topic Wednesday. Oh, for the puja? Oh, actually, I had a couple other ideas. I do definitely want to do something about it. The main thing, though, is because this coming Friday is a very big holiday for us. It's Ganesh Chaturthi, sorry. Or Vinayak Chauthi is what it's called in the south. But it's basically it's one of the biggest holidays, and it's a holiday for Ganesha, the elephant-headed god. And I was thinking of doing a little post about that. And on top of that, I'm planning, if at all possible, live streaming that day, if anybody's interested about that. And my dad mentioned that he might be able to, if we have the time, to actually chat and like go through why we do what we do. And at the end, there's a pretty long story about how and why we celebrate that holiday. So that's definitely a thing that we're gonna be. I'm hoping to do, and if I plan it right, I'm gonna be able to cover. But one day I do want to live stream the morning prayer, and I'll do a post about that and what its significance is. Although my dad might be better at explaining that than myself, because he like anytime we have guests over, he's able to like actually step by step talk about why he does certain things, why he does certain actions, what's the significance behind it. So, and it's very interesting if you ever get a chance to hear it. So there's that. And then on top, actually, never mind, I lied. It's not my time yet. I have a little bit more time. Yeah, still have a little bit of time. Sorry, there's a bit. Oh, damn it. Okay, there it is. So that's what I'm planning on doing, a post about that. And then on top of that, I do also want to do, especially I think it's a great way to get research on the TTRPG I'm working on, is every week focus on a particular state or region of India and then talk about what's so special about it. What's the landscape like? What's the culture like? What's the difference between the foods that they eat there, the language that they speak? Because you have to understand, you go from state to state, all of that changes. So it's literally like the people, you guys who are in Europe, you understand this. It's literally like going to a brand new country. Anyways, that's one of the things I wanted to do. I must get going. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys had some fun. And I'll keep getting better at this. So, hopefully I'll be able to figure things out a bit more and get things a bit more professional looking. But anyways, thank you guys so much. This was a blast for me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye all.